If you want to start the playlist, you can start that whenever. And we're actually going to start standing up today. So you can stand towards the back of your mat. And we'll be in a mountain position. So just starting to feel grounded on your feet. And we're going to do some really active releasing. So start just by closing your eyes if you feel safe to do that. And just start shaking your hands. Just however you naturally want to shake them, up and down, side to side. We're going to do this for the whole body, so let it come more into the arms now. Shaking the arms, the shoulders, and start kicking the legs, shaking everything, and not worrying at all about what it looks like. Just shake, break, shaking everything you can. And then it doesn't have to just be shaking. Just let yourself move however you want to move. Doesn't matter at all what it looks like. Maybe you add the neck into some things. Maybe just wiggling the arms, windmill the arms. And as you're doing this, just imagine any stagnant built up energy just leaving you. Letting it go away from you. Not feeling a need to hold on to anything right now, just letting it go. Doing this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let yourself settle, let yourself be still. Let the breath catch up with you. And just feel all this vibration moving through your body. Start to feel really rooted and grounded through the soles of your feet. Feel yourself drawing the energy up through the soles of your feet. The muscles of your legs are active, inner thighs pulling in and up. Tailbone reaching down, fingertips reaching down. Heart is proud, crown of the head is lifted. And just letting yourself be here, letting yourself breathe. Noticing how that's felt to you so far. The next inhale, sweep both arms up and over your head. Then exhale, bring the hands down through heart center and then down by your side. We'll do this a few times. Inhale the arms up and over. And exhale down into the side. Just moving like this a few more times on your own. As you inhale, see yourself gathering up the air and the energy. And as you exhale, letting it go, letting it soften. Let's do one more round. And then let's inhale, both arms reaching up, getting really long in the sides of the body. Feel the ribs tuck back under. Feel the space from the outside edges of your feet all the way through the sides of the legs, the side bodies, and the fingertips. Plug the shoulders back into place as the fingertips reach higher. Feeling the arms lengthen. And then exhale your right arm down by your side, bend over to the right. Nice side body stretch in the left side of the body. And feeling your hips shifting toward the left as you reach further toward the right. Making sure to stay over the center line of your body. So tucking everything back in, pulling the pelvic floor up. Feeling the space from the outside edge of your left foot through the left fingertips. Each inhale, find more length. Each exhale, bend a little bit more. And then let's inhale back to center, reach up. Exhale, other side, left arm down, bending over to the left. Same thing here, finding that length each inhale, bending a little more each exhale. Hips are shifting toward your right, fingers reaching toward the left. Two more breaths here. And then let's inhale both arms back up to center, reaching up. And exhale, just cactus the arms. Bring your shoulder blades and elbows closer together. Maybe you put a slight bend in the knees and feel your belly pull in as you open the heart, expanding through the collarbones. And then inhale, reach and straighten the legs. And exhale, slight bend in the knees, cactus the arms, open the heart. And do that like 4 more times on your own. So inhale, finding that length. And exhale, opening up the heart, cactusing the arms. Maybe bringing the palms to face away from you. Inhale, reach. And exhale, open. Let's do 1 more time. And then we'll inhale, reach up. And then exhale, just hinge at your hips and we'll dive forward into your forward fold. So letting the knees bend really generously, just letting the torso relax and the neck and the head release. And allow the head to dangle yes or no, maybe rocking in circles. And then shifting your weight more toward the balls of the feet, so the heels just grazing the mat. You can grab opposite elbows, feels good. Take big audible exhales. Let it out. You can sigh it out. You can flutter the lips. Giving yourself permission to let go. Communicating that to your body with the sound of your breath, with the sound of your exhales. 2 more big exhales here, seeing how long you can get that space from your tailbone through the crown of the head, how long you can get the spine. And then inhale to a halfway lift, lengthen the spine, so tabletop in the spine. And then exhale, release again, forward fold. And now inhale, walk your hands forward, moving from the shoulders, slowly in this cat-like motion. And we'll just come right into a downward facing dog. Your hands are about shoulder width distance, and your feet and your hands can be as close together as is comfortable for you. The furthest distance that you want is the natural distance of your plank. So you don't want them to be further apart than that. But they can always come in closer. So just finding that sweet spot for you. The feet are hips width distance, which is about 2 fists between the feet. Rooting down a little bit more intentionally in the knuckle of your pointer finger. Feeling how that can activate muscles all the way up the arms. Biceps are rolling in and up as the gaze is between the feet. The neck and the head are relaxed. The shoulders draw down the back. Hips lifting as high as you can. Maybe bending the knees, lifting them a little higher. And you can keep the knees bent. If the hamstrings are feeling extra tight today, you can keep them bent the whole time. Just focus on lengthening the spine. Micro bend in the elbows. You're not hyperextending the arms. Breathing. Maybe starting to pedal out the feet, finding some movement. And then as you inhale, let's roll the body through into a plank position. So letting your head arrive here last. Your heels are reaching back, crown of the head is reaching forward. Lift the back of your heart, push the ground away, pull the navel up to the spine. Always option to bring the knees down here too. And then exhale, lift the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll your body through, just like a wave coming into plank. And exhale, lift the hips back and up. Inhale through to plank. Exhale, push it back. Do that 2 more times on your own. Letting the whole length of your spine move like a wave. Letting the hips lead you. And then meeting in downward facing dog. Start to put a bend in both your knees and slowly lower them down to the mat. Coming right into a tabletop position. So maybe walking the hands back a little bit so the wrists are right under the shoulders, hips are right over the knees, toes are in line with the knees, and the pointers are facing right directly in front of you, toward the front of your mat. Thumbs are slightly pointing in, pinky slightly pointing out. Rooting down in the base of the thumb, the pointer, and the pinky intentionally, and also the tips of the fingers and the heel of the hands. Feel this really straight line you're creating. Root down in the tops of your feet and your shins, firing up the core. And then inhale, drop your belly down, lift your tailbone, lift your gaze to your cow pose. And exhale, pull it back to your cat pose. Tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone, lifting the back of the heart, and just moving like this with your own breath. Inhaling to your cow and exhaling to cat, or you can try switching up the breath. It's not super important which one you're inhaling to and which one you're exhaling to. You can play around with this. You can play around with rolling out the shoulders, kind of what we were doing standing up, just moving intuitively. So not thinking about it at all, just letting the body move on its own. There's nothing right or wrong that you can do. Erasing any expectations for how you're supposed to feel or how you're supposed to look. Whatever you're doing is perfect. And then once you feel ready, no rush. If you want to keep moving, feel free to. When you feel ready, you can come back to your neutral tabletop. And then inhale your right arm out to the side and up so that your heart opens to your right. Fingertips are reaching up toward the ceiling, lifting up and out of your left shoulder, twisting from the belly. And then exhale, thread the needle. The right arm comes underneath the left, and let your right shoulder and your right ear rest on the mat. Threading the needle, you can leave your right or your left hand where it is, pushing into that hand, deepening the twist a little bit more, or option to walk those fingertips toward the front of your mat, just getting more length in the left side of the body. Or you could also bring that hand back behind your back. Wherever you are, just making sure to keep your hips right over the knees. So you might feel that they want to shift more to your left, and try to just bring them so that you can even feel it with your left thigh, that your hip stays right over that knee. And then the heart and your gaze are coming a little bit closer toward the ceiling each exhale. Stretching really deep into the shoulder for 2 more breaths. And then you can start to bring your left hand back to the ground in front of your face and push into that ground so much so that the body lifts all the way back up. Right arm reaches back up, unwinding, and exhale back to your tabletop. So we'll do that on the other side when you're ready. Inhale your left arm out to the left and up to the ceiling, heart opening to the left, twisting from the belly here, pulling the navel in, lifting out of the right shoulder. And then exhale, thread the needle, bring the left arm underneath the right, and the left shoulder and ear come to rest on the mat. The same options here. Option to push into that hand, twisting a little bit deeper, or walking those fingertips forward, getting more length, or bringing the arm back behind you. And just making sure to keep those hips right over the knees. Maybe feeling like you're shifting them toward the left more to achieve this. Each exhale, you can gaze up toward the ceiling a little bit more. 3 more exhales. And then begin to unwind if you were twisted at all. And bring your right hand back to the ground in front of the face. Push into that hand so much that the left arm can rise all the way back up. And exhale, release. Back to your table. So from here, just leaving the hips exactly where they are. Walk your hands forward, melt your heart down into puppy pose. Forehead or the chin can come to the mat or a block. And staying active in the forearms and in the hands. Actively drawing your shoulder blades closer together each time you exhale. Letting the heart become heavier each time you exhale. And then just start to walk your hands toward the left side of your mat. So the right hand comes closer to the left corner of your mat. And come into this little side body stretch and puppy pose. So feel your right hip pulling back. Feeling the stretch from the right hip crease through the side body, through the armpit, all the way through the fingertips. And then gently starting to walk your hands back to center, and then taking them to the other side. So the left hand is coming to the right corner of the mat, drawing your left hip crease back. Feeling that space from the left hip crease through the side body, all the way through the fingertips. Each time you exhale, let that space become a little bit longer. And then beginning to walk your hands back to center. Take 2 more breaths in the center, just evening out a little bit. And then from here, staying rooted in your forearms and in your hands, start to pull the navel up to the spine and snake your body forward, coming right into a sphinx pose. So the hips come to the ground, the big toes root down, the pubic bone roots down. And feel as if you could drag the floor toward you, and you're pulling your heart forward and up. Shoulder blades come together down the back. And the chin is slightly tucked here, just so that the neck and the spine stays long. And as you push your pubic bone into the ground, see if you can also release the glutes. Breathing here, letting the heart be proud. And then exhale, release down to your mat. You can make a pillow for the forehead with your hands and bend the knees in toward the bum. Just windshield wiper the knees back and forth. Massaging the belly, releasing the low back. And then coming back to center, releasing the legs long on the mat. You can bring the hands right underneath the shoulders this time and keep the elbows pulled in really tight to the rib cage. Pull the navel up to the spine so that the belly slightly lifts. And then feel like you're pushing the ground away from you, bringing yourself up through a tabletop. Tuck your toes and lift your hips, downward facing dog. Few big breaths here. And then from here, bend the knees, look forward, and start to walk your feet up to meet your hands. Legs moving from the core lifting each foot up and forward, landing in your halfway lift. Inhale, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, sweep your arms all the way out and up. And exhale, draw your hands to heart center. Pausing here for a moment. Feeling that fire that we've already built within. Feeling the heart beating faster. We're going to get deep into the hips today, so there might be some emotional releases. So just let everything happen as it is. Erasing all expectations and just letting yourself be in this practice fully. As you inhale, reach both arms up. And exhale, hinge at the hips, dive forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, release. Plant the hands down, leave your right foot where it is, step your left foot back, coming into a lunge. So maybe walking or guiding your right foot forward a bit so that your front knee is over the front ankle. And let your hips be heavy, so the hips are sinking forward and down. Perfect. Heart is light. If you have blocks here, they're super helpful to just be on the inside of your front foot. But already feel this getting deep into your left hip flexor. Notice where you're feeling this. Maybe rock forward and back a few times, and then reaching through the heel. So getting that nice calf stretch in the left side, in the left leg. And then allow your back knee to come down to the ground. Untuck those toes and start to walk your hands up to your right knee or to the right thigh. And feel yourself, you can interlace the hands and bring them on top of the thigh and push away, pushing the torso away from the thigh, feeling that magnetic pull of the inner thighs toward each other. Great. If this feels tough on your back knee, you can always root down a little extra in the top of your back foot or try tucking the toes, that could help. Or if you have a blanket, you can slide that under the knee as well, or double up your mat. These options. So feeling this nice deep stretch in the left front of the left thigh and the hip flexor. Maybe the arms rise up. Maybe you get some more length. It's okay if you're not. Your hands can also be on the hips. But wherever you are, just really feel the inner thigh toward each other as you let the hips be heavy. There's this counteraction happening. And then you can bring your hands down, back to frame your front foot. Imagine there's a string at your tailbone and it's lifting your sit bones back and up. So that action straightens out your front leg, coming onto the front heel and hinging over your right hamstring. Again, blocks can be really nice here to give you a little extra lift. Wherever you are in this pose, just keep feeling your right hip pulling back. And you can even feel them that they're even, just checking in. So it's the sensation that your right hip is pulling back, but it's really just making them be even. And feel the energy reaching through the right heel. Feeling that space from the right sit bone through the back of the leg, all the way through the heel. And you can imagine that there's a string connecting your heart to your big toe. Each time you exhale, that string gets a little bit shorter. So hinging a little bit more. 2 more breaths. And then go ahead, bring both of your hands to the inside of your right foot. Rebend your front leg, and we're coming into a lizard pose. So turn your right toes so that they face the front right corner of the mat. It's just a slight, like a 45-degree angle. And you can stay here. You're welcome to just stay exactly like this. Or you can try to come down onto the forearms. So you can come on the forearms on a block or on the mat. But letting yourself unfold naturally. If you're not there right away, just breathe into this. Each exhale, sending the breaths to the right hip. If you are on the forearms, try to turn the forearms to face 11 o'clock. So the right hand's coming closer to the left corner of the mat. Feeling that a little bit deeper. And then maybe pushing into the hands a little bit more. Really deepening the breath. 3 more exhales. And then starting to come back onto the hands if you were on the forearms. And once again, feel the hips lifting back and up slowly, letting that action straighten out your front leg. You can bring your hands back to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up, and step forward into a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale and forward fold. Pausing here, just really feeling quite a big difference in the sides of the body before we even out. And then as you're ready, leave your left foot where it is and step your right foot back to a lunge position. You can take your time getting into this. You can adjust your stance however you need to. Odds are that right hip is feeling pretty worked on. Move slowly. The same thing here, just allowing your hips to sink forward and down. And then maybe adding some rocking motions, lifting the heel forward and back, getting more into that right calf. Tented fingers can be nice here, just giving you a little extra height if you don't have blocks. A few more breaths. And then just allow your back knee to drop down, untuck those toes, and start to walk your hands onto your left thigh. Coming into a low lunge. So you can interlace the hands. And if you interlace the hands on the other side, try interlacing them the way that feels a bit weird, the opposite way, just to even out that a little bit. And then pushing into the thigh, lifting up from the heart, lifting up from the ribs. Hips are still sinking forward and down as you lift up. Inner thighs feeling like they're pulling in toward each other as the hips stay heavy, as the heart stays light. An endless amount of things to think about in this pose, so finding yourself just thinking about all of the aspects of this posture. If the back knee is uncomfortable, rooting into that top of the back foot a little bit more, maybe tucking the toes or doubling up the mat. And then option 2, raise your arms up to the sky, getting a little bit more length, sinking a little bit deeper in the hips. This might feel really, really intense for you, and that is okay, that is normal. Breathe into it. Let this be your cue to deepen the breath. Two more exhales. And then you can bring the hands down, framing the front foot. Once again, lift your sit bones back and up slowly, straightening out your front leg, coming onto the left heel, hinging over left hamstring. So feeling your left hip pulling back, energy reaching from the hip through the heel. The back of the knee is reaching toward the mat. The heart is lifting toward the foot or the shin. And feel this action coming from the hips, hinging at the hips rather than curling in the spine. Take 3 more big exhales, letting them be slow breaths. And then you can bring both of your hands now to the inside of your left foot. Rebend your left leg and just turn your toes out about 45 degrees, not much, just so they face the front left corner of the mat. And then let your hips become heavy, sinking forward and down again, coming into a lizard pose. So this might be it. This might be deep enough for you. You might even be lifted up a little bit more. Wherever you are, just feeling it in the targeted area, in the left hip crease and the right hip flexor. Knowing that wherever you are is exactly where you need to be. Maybe coming onto the forearms here. We did so on the other side. And then experimenting with bringing your fingers to face 1 o'clock. Just the left hand coming to the right corner of the mat. Maybe pushing into the hands a little bit more, sinking deeper into the hips. Notice anything that's coming up right now. Notice any intense feelings or judgments happening. Just watch them. Take 3 more deep exhales. Slowly start to come back onto the hands. Once again, just start to lift your sit bones back and up slowly, straightening out the front leg. Bring your hands back to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and step forward to a halfway lift as you inhale. Again, you can move through this really slowly, no rush. We'll meet in a forward fold as you exhale. 3 breaths here, just let it all go. Maybe the legs are a little shaky, letting them shake. And then slowly rolling yourself up to stand. 1 vertebra at a time. Inhaling, arms up and over at the top. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Letting all the muscles of the face be soft. Let the jaw release. Let the eyebrows soften, forehead soften. Feel the beating of your heart. Feel the beating of your palms. Next time you inhale, raise both your arms up. And exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Plant your hands down, step both of your feet back, coming right into a down dog. 2 breaths here. Maybe big sighs, letting it out. And then slowly bending the knees, letting them find the mat. Untuck the toes, sit the hips down on the heels, coming into child's pose. So same as always, if you want to focus more on the spine, you can bring toes together, knees together. And if you want to focus deeper into the hips, bring the toes together, knees as wide as your mat. And if the hips aren't resting on the heels, you can always bring a block or a blanket or pillow underneath the hips for extra support. Only if it bothers you. It's not a problem if they're lifted. It doesn't bother you. Letting yourself surrender here. Arms can be reaching forward. They can be stacked under the forehead like a pillow. It can be reaching back behind you. Whatever intuitively feels right in this moment. And to start to rock your head side to side, massaging your forehead, either against your hands or against the mat. And then as you're ready, you're welcome to stay here as long as you need. But as you're ready, you can start to bring yourself up to a seat on your ankles. And shift your weight to either side. Just bring the legs out long in front of you. And shake out the legs. You can tap the backs of the knees against the ground. And start to tap out the hips. You can tap here, you can squeeze. Maybe squeezing feels better. Really just want today to be all about self-love. Just letting it go. You can squeeze the feet, squeeze anything that needs to be squeezed. Giving yourself that touch. And then you can start to find your way back just to a neutral seat. Then bring the sole of your right foot into the inside of your left thigh. If this knee is super lifted, you can always put something under there for support, or just let it rock wherever it is. And now bring your shoulders to be in between, or right, I guess squaring your right foot, centered with the hips. And then just start to walk your hands forward here. So you're feeling this deep on the inside of your left leg. So we're not just folding over the left leg, we're folding more on the inside, just in line with the hips. Make sure you're feeling both of your sit bones rooting down. You might want to push into the hands, feeling how that roots the sit bones down a little bit easier. And if you want this to be a little bit more active, you can inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, draw yourself forward a little bit deeper, hinging a little bit more at the hips. Or you're welcome to make this passive and just totally surrender here. Bring the palms to face up. And then just slowly start to walk your hands toward your left leg. So now we're bringing the hands to frame the left leg, just focusing deeper on the left hamstring. And feel that little twist that's happening here. Feel yourself twisting at the belly. And same thing here. If you want to stretch more actively, you can lead with the heart. Let your heart reach toward the leg. Let yourself hinge more at the hips. Or if you want to make this more passive, you can curl at the spine, surrender in the neck and the head. Take 3 more breaths here. And then begin to walk your hands back toward the hips. Slowly bring yourself back up to your seat. And we'll just switch legs so you can extend your right leg long. Take your time, shake it out. And then when you're ready, bring the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. And feel both of your sit bones rooted down. So maybe pulling the flesh of the sit bones back. And then bringing the shoulders in line with the hips and hinging forward there. So you're on the inside of your right leg. You can notice right away one side will feel quite different. Making a mental note of that. Maybe pushing into the hands, pushing the sit bones back. Rooting down into the floor a bit deeper. Sending the breath to wherever you're feeling this the loudest. Just starting to walk your hands toward the right leg. And then bringing your hands to frame the right leg, shoulders framing the right leg. Maybe adjusting your seat slightly if you need to. Just focusing deeper on the right hamstring. Notice the quality of the thoughts entering the mind. Noticing if they're loud or if they're quieting down. Constantly reminding yourself to come back to this moment, to come back to the breath, to come back to this posture. Two more exhales. And then start to walk the hands back up toward the hips. And extend both legs, just shake them out. And we'll just do one more seated stretch on either side before we make our way down to lay on our backs. So you can bring the right ankle on top of your left thigh, a little closer to the knee, and keeping that right foot really flexed, keeping the knee pushing away from you. This might be good. You might feel this deeply in your right hip. If you want to come a little deeper, you can bring your hands back behind you for some support and then bend your left leg, bring the sole of that foot to the ground. Coming into this seated pigeon pose. So this might feel really good for you too. You might want to come closer and closer. If you're not feeling this as much as you want to, you can do this thing called like cradle the baby, you can call it. So you bring the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left elbow and then hug the right knee with the right elbow, interlace the hands. So you're kind of cradling your shin, just like a baby. You can rock it side to side. You can play around with it, bring it in circles. Just feel that you're not curling too much in the spine. Feel yourself lifting up into it. We'll deepen this. And wherever you are, just making sure to keep your right foot really flexed. Protects your knee. Take 3 more breaths right where you are. And then you can release that leg if you're holding on to it, just slowly unwinding it, maybe shaking it out. And then we'll do that on the other side. So you can flex the left foot, bring the outside of the ankle on top of the right thigh, closer to the knee. And that knee's pushing away from you. That might feel great. So you can stay there if you need to or if you want to. And then if not, if you want to come deeper, just putting a bend in your right leg, bringing your right foot closer to your body, bringing your left foot closer to your body as you push your left knee further away from you, opening up in the hips. And if all this feels good and you did it on the other side, you cradle the baby that is your shin. Be rocking side to side. Feeling the heart lifting toward the shin. Feeling the foot coming closer as the knee goes further away. So 3 more breaths here. Just gently start to release your foot and your leg. And extend it, shake it out. And then as you're ready, we'll make our way down to lay on our backs. So you can bend the knees, grab the backs of the thighs, and slowly lower yourself down. Coming to lay on your back. You can hug the knees into the chest when you arrive and just rock gently side to side. Letting the weight of your body be supported by the mat beneath you, by the earth beneath that. And bring your arms out to a T shape, the palms facing down, and then just let both of your knees fall off to the right. Just taking a supine twist. So feeling that space from the left shoulder rooting down into your mat, through the side body, through the left knee. Bringing out the spine. Massaging the organs. Just allowing your navel to sink in closer to the spine with each exhale. And starting to bring your knees back to center. You can let them fall off to the other side. Keeping the right shoulder rooted down. Feeling the space you're creating from the right shoulder through the outside of the right knee. Letting the belly relax. Slowly starting to come back to center. Bending both legs up to the ceiling when you're ready. Taking them out. Just letting them rest wherever they're comfortable. Maybe they're quite generously bent. Maybe they're pretty straight. Wherever they are, just not thinking about it, just letting them be where they are. Letting them just rest in the hip sockets. And then reaching your arms up, doing the same. Just allowing all of the blood to rush into your shoulders, to rush into the hips. Maybe the legs are a bit shaky. Maybe the arms are a bit shaky. Just letting them shake, letting our body naturally recalibrate to a space of peace and calm. And when you feel ready, you can come into your happy baby. So just bending the knees, reaching for the outside edges of your feet or the big toes with the peace fingers, the ankles, the thighs, anything that's available. Just letting the hips open up toward the ceiling, soles of the feet reaching toward the ceiling, and the knees coming closer to the armpits, plugging the shoulders back into place. Hips staying rooted down, shoulders staying rooted down, breathing into the hips. Maybe you add some rocking into this. Maybe you rock side to side, taking turns straightening out each leg, straightening out both legs. Just channeling your inner happy baby, letting yourself do whatever. And then when you feel ready, you can let the soles of the feet find each other and just slowly lower your legs down so the outside edges of your feet find the mat. Knees fall off to the sides, maybe rolling the sit bones back, maybe rolling the shoulders under the spine, palms facing up by your side. Your reclined bound angle pose. If there's any final little movements that you feel you need to take to make this practice feel complete today, feel free to do so now. If you feel ready, you can straighten out your legs coming into your final Shavasana whenever you'd like. Feeling all that movement within the body start to settle. Seeing your body like a snow globe. It's just been shaken up. Now is set to rest. Feeling everything settle toward the back of the body. As if the body's full of sand. The entire back body, from the back of your skull, through the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the torso, the legs, hands and the feet, everything heavy. So heavy that if you wanted to move, you couldn't. allowing all the healing benefits of this practice to soak into your bones. Allowing your breath to be exactly how it is. Allowing your face to relax. Feel the forehead and the eyebrows expand and soften. Allow your jaw to hang heavy. Tune into your heartbeat. Notice the rhythm, the speed, the quality of your heartbeat. Feeling that pulsing throughout your entire body. Bring it down into the belly. Releasing any sense of holding in the belly, in the pelvic floor, in the glutes. Knowing that there's nothing you need to hold. Soften and allow. Allowing digestion to work for you. Allowing the blood to be pumped through your body. Feeling the palms of your hands and each of your fingers. Feeling the soles of your feet and each of your 10 toes. Both hands and both feet pulsing. Feeling the very crown of your head. Feeling the pulsing that exists there, as well as in the space between the eyebrows. Feeling your entire skull pulsing. Resting here for about another minute in this total body awareness. Start to consciously deepen your breath. Bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. As you inhale, breathe into the belly and let it travel into the heart. And as you exhale, release from the heart, then from the belly. Feeling yourself energizing with each breath. Pulsing of your hands into the heart and the belly, and the pulsing of your heart and belly back into the hands. Feeling this naturally healing action. And then start to wiggle the toes and the feet, the ankles. You wiggle the fingers, the hands and the wrists. You rocking the head side to side. Starting to add some movement into the body. Reaching the arms up overhead to take a nice morning stretch when you feel ready. Getting nice and long. And then bringing the knees into the chest when you feel ready, making your way to a fetal position on one side. And rest the head on the upper arm. Pausing for a moment here. Making sure to leave behind anything you no longer need today. Leaving it behind on your mat. And leaving your eyes closed for now. You can push the top hand into the ground as you're ready. Finding your way back to a comfortable seat. Meeting with our hands at heart center. First thing, fully, deeply thanking yourself for your practice, for your dedication to this practice today. May this continue to heal you throughout the rest of your evening to a wonderful night's sleep. And may you bring some of this love and light to everyone in your own lives. Namaste. Yay.